mean, this is the golden hour, right? Look at that sky. It's just beautiful. Okay, full speed pass. And welcome to the Philip Cockram channel, viewers. Please like, subscribe, share, and comment. It helps this channel grow, and it helps me bring you these great videos that we all love. So on today's show, we've got another fantastic unboxing for you from Surpass Hobby of the Arrma Big Rock Crew Cab version 3. And I got to tell you, I like this truck so much that I went and bought another one. Now, it's not exactly the same, but in a future video when I unbox this, I'll show you how you can convert it to this truck for very little, because it is almost exactly the same. But anyway, on to the Big Rock. Details here about kind of what you get in the, in the box and how it comes, right? So I've already converted mine, spoiler alert, to 4S, and I'm going to show you that quickly here in a moment, right? And then we'll get to a little bit of footage, right? So we'll try and make this video short, right? So here's a couple of features that I really like about this truck, right? So there's just 4 bolts, and you can remove your top differential housing and remove your differential out. 1 bolt here, and you remove the whole motor and control, what they call the power module here, right? So your motor and your clutch and everything's in there to be able to work on it. The drive shaft is spring loaded. That pops out really easy. 4 screws to take out your whole ESC, and that includes your receiver and everything that's in that box in the bottom, right? Got some pretty new cool tires. I've been testing these out, and they work great on asphalt and dirt and grass, right? So a great all-round tire, right? You've got adjustable links, which is a nice feature to be able to do your toe and camber, right? Some reinforcement on the chassis braces there with the aluminum where your hinge points are, which is very important, right? New better clutch in the thing. Nice new body and some bumpers and stuff there. So again, there's some of the specs here, right? So it's a really nice truck. It drives incredibly well. So let me get it up here and so you. Here we go. Really like the styling of it. I'm kind of a Ford guy, right? So this being, pretty much a Ford truck chassis on there. So I've already done just a couple of basic, lights inside here. Nothing too fancy. These were like $4 or $5, right? I've got a new light bar coming for it because the one that I already had was a little bit too wide for this truck. So as you can see, that's already been changed, the speed control, and I've already updated the drive shaft to these aluminum telescopic drive shafts. And I have to say, this is a definite plus because it's a little bit tighter fitment than the plastic one, so it doesn't quite rattle around and everything so much, and it's also giving the truck a little bit more strength. There's a little bit more of a brace in there, less flexible than the plastic one, and it looks a lot nicer in there too. So just a quick ahead there. So this is 150 amp speed control, but this is the original motor that's in there. So when I just plugged a 4S right into the stock speed control, and nothing happens. So, it doesn't really burn out or anything. No magic smoke, anything like that. But it can, but it doesn't work, right? Nothing happens. So I removed that and put in this other 150 amp one that I had, which is brand new, and plugged in the 4S battery, and the truck was fine. So the motor can take 4S, but it's just the speed control that doesn't. And so just for comparison sakes there's the original, it's a BLX 100 speed control that came out of it. I converted it to XT60 right away because it came with a IC3 on it. And there's the new speed control, so you get a difference, get an idea of the size. It's almost twice as big, right? It's a pretty big speed control. So I've been running a 4S 5000 milliamp battery in here, 60C. And this combination is just perfect because some good hard run time, like good 15 minutes, and the battery is slightly warm, the motor is slightly warm, and the speed control is slightly warm. Nothing is really getting hot on the thing, even after really hard driving like that. So I'm really happy with that, setup there, because it means nothing's really getting stressed too hard. There are some aftermarket lights that you can get that are made for the Big Rock body, and they look awesome. They're not that expensive if you're into that, but there's all kinds of aftermarket lights that you can get. So I've got already some really cool street tires. I've got these Bandito MTs to put on there. Get a nice set of those. I've also got I've got a set of bigger paddle tires that were on my Revo, but I wanted something a little bit thinner and stuff for this truck, right? So these are just some cheap paddle wheels. They're kind of like, $40, $45 a set for them, but they have pretty good ratings. I've seen other people use them. They're a nice light kind of wheel. It's a little bit more, buggy size. It's not that wide, right? But paddles move a lot of material, right? So having a big paddle tire isn't necessarily that good because it can stress your truck and your axles and all that stuff out there. One mod that a lot of people have been doing to this truck is converted over to 17 millimeter, so they can put on different wheels and tires, right? Which is what this one that I just showed you here. This is a 17 millimeter rim, so you need to convert your hubs over if you're going to use these. These Banditos come with 14 millimeter, which is nice, and there are quite a range of wheels that do come in 14 millimeter, right? But it's nice if, to convert it over, right? That Typhon that I just showed you a second ago does have 17 millimeter hubs on it. So there's a lot of videos out there about doing the hub conversions to 17 millimeter, and it's a little bit confusing. I think some of them are kind of a little bit dated, and they haven't caught up with what is available now on the market to sell. So if you just Google, or on eBay or on Amazon or something like that, 17 millimeter adapters for this truck, and you see the set that comes up for, $15, $17, $18 or whatever they are, those are more than likely going to work, right? The thing to really look for is like the hole that they show you in the center. But if you want to be careful, you can pick some of the brands that I'm going to show you here right now, and be safe than sorry. So these Traxxas ones work. Okay, I've already put them on there and tried them, right? So, and it's a name brand company and a good set, right? So there's the number there of them. I'm not too sure if they come with different colors or whatever, but you're basically just gonna, slide that over, take off the existing nut, slide this over top. It's got some longer pins that are going to replace the drop-in pins that are underneath the wheels there right now. If you'll notice here, let me pop this out just a sec. Okay, so if you notice, the hole that's in the center of the hub is pretty small, and you can see quite a bit of meat around the outside of it. That's the diameter that you're looking for. So you'll see two different sizes of these out there, and pictured side by side, they're usually priced the same and stuff like that. But if you look for the one that's got that smaller hole, that's what's going to fit over this axle here, and it's just going to slide on. You're going to drop the new pin in there, tighten it up, and then you've got your new wheel nut. So as you can see, these are splined nuts, right? So a lot of the new ones are, and you're going to need a wrench like this. This wrench was only $4 or something, to tighten them up, and I think it's so that you don't have dirt and stuff built up in there. You don't have to use these, but it looks like a lot of the new ones are. And I use a wrench like this. You get a nice heavy steel cross wrench. Again, this is only like $5, $7 or so. This is what I'd highly recommend, right? Because this has several of the sizes for wheel nuts, and it's got a nice little bit of weight to it to be able to tighten things up. So just while we're on the hub adapters note, you can also get these hot racing ones. Now you'll see these quite often too. So this little cap is your actual wheel nut here, okay, that you're tightening on. Is just a little bit better looking than obviously just a flat nut like that, right? So now these hubs, as you can see, are a little bit low. These have a 10 mil offset, right? So they're a little, so that's going to push your wheels out a little bit further on them, right? So now they come with a longer pin that goes inside it, right? And because they've got this length and stuff, so you see the hole that's in there, it's quite a bit bigger, but then it gets smaller down inside. So they use these little barrels here. So these screw onto the end of your axle, and they take up that space in between the hub there and stuff, so it's got some support to it, right? So here's the number of these hot racing ones there, if you're looking for those. I just kind of assume they make a set that's not offset, right? But I already had the straight set, so I wanted one that would be wider. And these might go on the Typhon there, actually, to push them a little bit wider. What else? So my future plans are, as again, I'm putting the ball links, the hot racing ball links on there. I might upgrade the bell crank on the steering again, just to get that, any of the slop that's in there is a little bit tighter. I heard that works. Maybe go to the CVDs, I'm not too sure, right? So my plans is between this and the Typhon is to make one a kind of you know, a street speed machine, right? And the other one, you know, high speed basher. So this truck goes just fine on 3S, as you'll see by the footage there. Having the 4S in it just to give it that little bit kind of extra boost, right? So I'd like to push this truck though to 6S, right? So I've got this bigger motor. This is the biggest motor that's going to be able to fit inside there. I forget what it's a 4076 2000 kV motor. Okay, as you can see, it's a little bit bigger than the one that's in there, but it's just slightly bigger in diameter. So, you know, fingers crossed that this is going to fit. These two little pieces here are little battery holder spacer things. One goes there, and there's another one at the back here. So I just took those out so I could fit in that bigger battery, and it sits in there a little bit better, right? So again, you can do the same if you need to. One thing that they did include, which I'll give them props for, is a nice kind of expandable blow up here of the whole truck and the schematic and all the parts, right? So it's nice and easy to see where everything goes, how it goes together, and part numbers labeled on everything. So when it comes to ordering parts for this truck, it's super easy, right? You go, yeah, I need that piece there, you know, and that's it. So that's really nice. Pretty impressed with Arrma that they've got things pretty economical, right? So even though I put this new drive shaft in, and you can pick up these from anywhere from, like, you know, $17-18 right up to $50 or $60 you can pay for these, right? They all seem to be about the same, but you know, it's buyer beware. It's hard to find them at hobby shops. You got to kind of go, you know, aftermarket with those kind of things, right? You know, and again, choose your supplier, right? So I think that's about it, right? You know, I might be upgrading the motor plate to put in that bigger 2000 kV motor, just beef it up a little bit stronger, and something where we'll have to see. You know, I really think probably 6S will probably rip this truck apart, but we're going to find out, right? So, so I think that's about it for now, folks. So that's our show for you today, folks. Arrma Big Rock V3 crew cab, highly recommended. One of the best trucks on the market out there. A ton of fun. Love and peace from Canada, and we are YouTube. So definitely happy with the 4S conversion. I would highly recommend it. It's perfect for this truck, I think. This speed control can take a 6S battery too, and I have a 6S capable motor for it. I'm not too sure if it would fit because it's kind of for an 8 scale, but you know, we'll see. We'll see. I think 6L would probably end up ripping this truck apart, but you know, because it's, you know, 4Cell puts this thing like right at the crazy edge, right? You know, you can see there, tires are at full balloon, you know. Nice tumble.